All right. I would like to introduce Kirk Smalley with Stand for the Silent and Paige Stevenson with Hunter's Hotline. This seminar will entail the results of bullying and accidental overdoses among students.
On August 6, 2004, I went upstairs to help my mom with something on our computer. As I was sitting there showing her how to do something, I heard my little brother Hunter's alarm clock going off. It kept going off, and so my mom and I went into his room to wake him up. Hello guys, my name is Paige Stevenson, and I'm Hunter's older sister. I'm actually from Huntsville and flew in for this, so thanks for having us. That morning, my brother Hunter, a 16-year-old, was supposed to start his junior year at Huntsville High School in 3 days. He died as a result of a prescription pill that somebody gave him at a party the night before. He came home that night, talked to me, talked to my mom. We didn't know that was the last time that we were going to ever talk to him. So after the horror of finding my brother lifeless and uncovering the things that led up to his death, my family and I discovered a grave world that we never realized was so bad. A world where you are all facing difficult situations every day, whether it be your own experiences with drugs, bullying, physical abuse, sexual abuse. It's all around all of us. If you turn on the news, it's everywhere. Just last week, another event. As a result of students constantly confiding in my family after Hunter's death, we started Hunter's Hotline. It's a non-profit, it's a tip line, and it's for you. You've already got it in your school, and it's not being used. You've got posters all around. I saw one as we walked in with the phone number. It's for you. Please use it. I know that there's problems. You're in high school. You're not going to always make the best decisions, but please use it and learn from them. It's completely for you. If you ever have any problems, you can contact me. You can email me at huntershotline@gmail.com. Just let me know, hey, this is working great, this is not working. It's absolutely for you, so please give me your feedback. We're also on Facebook. I know you can all use Facebook. If you search for Hunter's Hotline, put your feedback there. But the hotline is for you, and I can't stress that enough. You can text it, you can call it, do whatever you need to do, make a difference. It's confidential, and only 2 people at your school even have access to it. So you don't have to worry about anyone knowing what you're saying. I urge you to use it. I don't want anyone to ever have to go through what I've been through. My brother was 16. He was a good kid. He played tennis at Huntsville High, and he made one bad mistake. And if somebody could have told us there was a party and what was going on, if there was Hunter's Hotline at the time, maybe that wouldn't have happened. So I'm going to hand it back over to Colin.
Okay. This is a brief history of Stand for the Silent. July 1st, 2010, the OSU OKC Upward Bound students decided to take a stand against bullying. They were inspired by Tyfield Smalley's story and wanted to make a difference and to do something for Ty's and his family. Kirk Smalley, Ty's dad, came to speak to the students about Ty, and that was the beginning of this movement. July 11, 2010, the Stand for the Silent Facebook page was launched. As of today, there are over 18,000 members. August 17, 2010, SFTS held a rally at Western Heights High School. Then, on August 24, 2010, SFTS held a rally at the Oklahoma State Capitol and around the world. There were at least 19 rallies in the U.S., 1 in Ireland, 1 in Spain, 1 in Africa, and 2 in Australia. We went global with our message. SFTS is about students teaching students not to bully. It takes all of us teaching that bullying hurts and changes lives forever. 68 UB students and a handful of adults decided to make a difference, to make a change, and to be part of the solution. Now let me introduce you to these 5 chairs. These chairs represent 5 kids that have taken their own lives due to bullying.
This chair belongs to Matt from Michigan. Matt was 14 years old. He was voted by his 8th grade classmates to have the best smile, the best personality, and most likely to become an actor. He was assaulted by upperclassmen as part of a welcome to high school. We lost Matt in 2002. His father, Kevin, continues to work to bring awareness and stop bullying.
This chair belongs to Brandon. Brandon lived in Kawada, Oklahoma. He loved to ride his four-wheeler, fishing, camping, helping on the family farm, and in the family trucking business. His mom always said he was a mechanic who was smart enough to be a rocket scientist. Brandon was bullied for many years by people that never took the time to get to know him. Brandon took his own life to end his pain December 16, 2000, at the age of 18.
This chair belongs to Brianna. She was from Australia. Bullying happens all around the world. At the age of 14, Bree took her own life to escape the constant bullying. We lost Breezy on April 28, 2010.
This chair belongs to Montana. He was from Texas. At the age of 9, Montana was being suspended from school because he retaliated against the bully. He was in the school's nurse's office, waiting for his parent to pick him up. After locking himself in the bathroom, he hung himself with his own belt. We lost Montana on January 21st, 2010.
This chair belongs to Ty. Ty was from Oklahoma, and he was 11 years old. Ty had a big heart and always had a big smile for everyone. He loved to hunt and help others. Ty was small for his age. 2 years of being bullied was just too much for him. He retaliated against the bully and was suspended. We lost Ty in May 2010. Now, let me introduce you to Ty's dad, Kirk Smalley.
Thanks, Colin. Hi, guys. Hello. We can talk, all right? My name's Kirk, and I'm Ty's dad. And I'm here today to talk to you guys not as an adult, not as any kind of teacher. I'm here to tell you about what happened to Ty, and I'm hoping that by doing that, you guys can help me make sure that this doesn't ever happen again to another kid or another family. I got to warn you about something. Man, I'm not a public speaker. What I am is a construction worker. And what I'm going to tell you about, I feel real passionate about, real strong. So I got a favor I need to ask you. When I stand for the silent kids, we got a hand sign we use. It's that right there. You guys know what that means? It's the International Sign Language symbol. It means I love you. Now, to us, we use it just a little different. To us, it doesn't only mean I love you. It means I support you. It means I got your back. So if you guys see me struggling up here, if you'll throw one of them at me, I'll try real hard to get through it, okay? All right? We can talk, guys. You know, I hope you can learn something from me today. But even more than that, I'm hoping that I can learn something from you. I hope that you can teach me that there are other people in this world besides me and a handful of kids that stand for the silent that actually care about others. See, 661 days ago, I left for work at 4:30 in the morning. My wife, Laura, and our little boy, Ty, they left the house a couple hours later to go to school. My wife worked at the school my boy went to. She took that job so she could be near our son. She could be off work the same days he was out of class. My wife and my baby were best friends. They were together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On that particular day, Ty was sitting in the gym with his best friend waiting on class to start. And this kid that had been picking on him for over 2 years he come up and started picking on him again. I guess Ty had finally had enough. He retaliated. You know what happens when you retaliate? Second guy always gets caught, don't he? See, the bully gets to plan his move. Man, he gets to look around, see where all the teachers are. Waits till nobody's looking. Then he goes up and does whatever it is he's going to do, huh? And the victim? And they just react. Disturbance draws the teacher's eye. They look over and they see that second guy take the swing every time, don't they? And that's what happened to Ty. He retaliated. And he got caught. He was suspended for 3 days. They called his mama. She went, picked him up, took him home. Short-handed that day at work. Laura had to go back. She told Ty to do his homework. And she told him to do his chores. Told him we'd talk about it when we got home that evening. My wife came home at 2:38 p.m. on May 13th. She found out that Ty didn't do his homework. Our boy didn't do his chores. Instead, he'd killed himself on our bedroom floor. I got a phone call at 2:39 p.m. Caller ID said it was Laura. I answered. And she was screaming. Just screaming. Couldn't understand a single word she was trying to tell me. She just screamed and screamed. And finally, I screamed back at her. I told her, honey, you got to stop and tell me what's going on. And she managed to say, he's dead. He shot himself. I asked her who. And she said, Ty. You know, since that day, Laura and I, we've talked to families all over our world of kids that have done that same thing. I got a list of over 800 children that have taken their own lives because of being bullied. Laura and I have talked to over 250 of those families in person. Guys, that's 800 babies lost. 800 families ruined. January 21st, 2010, that little guy right there in the second chair. Man, he was 9 years old, named Montana, lived in a place called the Colony down in Texas. Montana retaliated against a bully who'd been picking on him all year long. Second guy always gets caught too, huh? Montana was sitting in the office waiting on his mom, Debbie, his daddy, Jason, to come and pick him up, take him home. He asked if he could go to the bathroom. They let Montana go in the nurse's bathroom. The only one in school had a lock on the door. And 9-year-old Montana Lance took off his own belt and hung himself in the nurse's bathroom. You know, Laura and I, we had this little meeting out at our house here a while back. We live up by Stillwater, Oklahoma, out in the middle of nowhere. We invited literally everybody we could think of to come out and help us figure out a way that we could make sure that this didn't ever happen again to another kid or another family. Had about 30 people show up. There was this young mother from Stillwater, Oklahoma. And then she came and she was telling me about her 6-year-old daughter being picked on all last school year by a 5-year-old little boy. This little 5-year-old boy even took a pair of scissors, crawled underneath the table where this little 6-year-old girl sat, and cut this baby's dress all the way around where she sat there terrified to move. And her mama brought the dress out to my house and showed it to me. Had 1 week of school left last school year. This little 5-year-old boy told this 6-year-old girl, the last day of school, I'm going to bring a gun to school. I'm going to kill you. Next morning, little Gina woke up. She was crying. She told her mom, Mama, I don't want to go to school today. Mom said, Baby, are you sick? No, ma'am. I'm not sick. Well, Gina, if you're not sick, you've only got a week left to go. You really need to go. Next morning, little Gina woke up and she was crying again. She told her mom, Mama, please, don't you make me go to school today. Her mom said, Gina, honey, it's almost over. Just a couple more days. 3 days left in school last school year. That morning, little Gina woke up and she wasn't crying anymore. She looked at her mom. She said, Mom, I'm not going to school today. I'll just kill myself instead. She was 6 years old. Her mama was kind of caught off guard, didn't really know what to say. She said, Gina, why would you say that? How would you even do that? Gina looked at her mom and said, Mama, I know exactly how I'd do that. I'll crawl up the shelves in Daddy's bedroom closet. I'll get his deer rifle down, and I'll shoot myself instead of letting that bully. She was 6 years old. And she had a plan on how she would take her own life. That list of 800 kids I told you I got? The youngest one on it was 6 years old. His name was Matthew. Matthew Bibby. Matthew lived in Great Britain. Matthew will be 6 years old forever. Forever. You don't get any older when you die, guys. You still have birthdays. But you don't get a year older. And your family? We cry all day long on that day. You know, I got this buddy of mine. His name's Matt. Man, I love Matt. Matt loves me. Matt's my friend. Matt's got this little habit, though. He likes to call people nicknames. You know, he thinks they're funny. He thinks they're cute. Matt's nickname for me was always worthless. And Matt didn't really think I was worthless. It's just something he said. He'd call me on the phone. He'd say, "Hey, worthless, what are you doing?" One day, not very long ago, I was feeling pretty worthless. And Matt called. You know, Matt doesn't call people nicknames anymore. He learned that day what one word can do to somebody if it catches them at the wrong time. Guys, I know we're not perfect. Man, I ain't even asking you to try to be. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. What I'm asking is when you do that, man, we got to learn to go back and apologize. Believe me, it can make a lifetime's worth of difference to somebody. You know, the day after my boy took his own life, they were telling jokes about it at his school. My boy's best friend got the living daylights pounded out of him because he heard those jokes. He went up and tried to defend my kid. My boy's mom heard those jokes. I heard them. How funny you figure that one was. Guys, I realize it takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to be the one in a group of your own friends that can stand up and say, "You know what? That's not right. That ain't funny." How'd you like it if it was your friend? Your little brother? Your son? It's a whole lot easier just to laugh and go along with the rest of them, isn't it? You know, nowadays, more than reading and writing and arithmetic, I think maybe it's time that we all learn respect for others, tolerance for differences, and how to be the difference in somebody else's life. Man, you got to be the one that's willing to be that difference. You got to be the one that can go up to that new kid in town or that different kid. Every single one, you know who I'm talking about, don't you? You can see that kid in your own head right now. That one that's always over there by themselves. You know, the one that doesn't have hardly any friends. The one that everybody's always picking on. And you got to be the one that can go up to that kid and offer your hand and friendship. Dude, you can be somebody's hero. And you can change somebody's world. Stand for the Silent was started by 68 high school kids from the Oklahoma City area. Those kids didn't know us. They didn't know my boy. They heard about what happened to Ty. Those babies decided they'd had enough. They weren't going to put up with this happening anymore in their world without them doing everything they could to make it stop. Guys, I have met every single one of them 68 kids. Man, I've hugged their necks. You know what they taught me? They come from all walks of life. They're red and yellow and black and white. But they all got one thing in common. They all treat each other with love and respect. Man, they all got each other's back. I've seen that with my own eyes. I ain't going to stand here and lie to you. They don't all like each other. Man, they don't always get along. But they always got each other's back and respect each other. You know what that tells me? That tells me that this is doable. Man, it's a doable thing. If those 68 kids from so many different backgrounds can learn to love and respect each other, any group of humans can learn it. Man, it's doable. Before we learn to respect everybody else, though, we've got to learn to respect ourselves, don't we? I ain't going to stand up here and tell you guys that you got to like everybody. Not everybody's going to like you. All I'm trying to say is we all have the right to be here. Every single one of us has the right to be who we are. I'd like to read you guys a few notes that some of Ty's classmates left for his mom and I after he died. I'll always remember his laugh. It was the funniest laugh I've ever heard. It always made me smile and laugh. He'll always be in my memories. I'll always remember Ty's huge smile across his face. I knew that if I was having a bad day, I'd see Ty on 7th hour. And his smile and laugh would change my day. He always had this great big smile on his face. He always had a funny joke to tell. He was always having a good time with his friends. Ty was always so kind to me. I'm sorry for your loss. I'll pray for you and your family. I always remember Ty wearing his camo jacket. He always seemed to be very happy, very energetic. That was one of my favorite things about him, that he could always be happy without trying to be. He always talked about hunting. He knew everything about it. I'll always miss him. I'll never forget him. Here's a few notes that some of Ty's teachers wrote and left at the funeral home for his mama and me. I could count on Ty to always greet me with a smile and a "Hello, Miss Burton," whenever I saw him. He will be missed so very much. I'll forever remember Ty's smiling eyes and freckled face. He ran past me Wednesday on playground duty and hollered, "Hi, Miss Hughes." He was such a friendly young man. I feel blessed to have gotten to know him and have spent a year in the classroom with him. Thank you for sharing him with me. He will never be forgotten. Ty always had that big, beautiful smile beaming across his sweet little face. I'll never forget that smile, his laughter, or his stories. He had an inner light that would brighten even the darkest of rooms. That light will never truly extinguish because it will always continue to shine within our hearts and all of our memories now and forever. I love you, Ty. You are now God's angel, and heaven is blessed to have you. I was blessed to have known you. You guys catch anything in common with all those? Every single one of them talk about that boy's smile. That kid was always smiling. He was always trying to brighten somebody else's day. You know, the last 4 years of his life, that boy had been on a mission. He wanted to go up to Wyoming and hunt antelope with me. You got to be 12 years old to hunt big game in the state of Wyoming. And this past summer, Ty, he was finally going to get to be old enough in time for opening day. Man, he was proud. He went around bragging to all his buddies that he was finally going to get to go to Wyoming with his old man, kill himself a turbo goat. You know, he even picked out a spot on his bedroom wall. Showed all his buddies right exactly where that antelope was going to hang. Me and Ty, we sat down at our dining room table on March 8th. And we filled out his tags. We sent in his money. My boy killed himself on May 13th. His birthday was June 16th. I got his antelope tag in the mail July 10th. And his mama and I, we sat down, we talked about it. We decided we had to go on up to Wyoming. We had to bring home his antelope and put it on his wall where he'd promised all his buddies it was going to hang. This is kind of tough for me to admit. I'm supposed to be a great big bad hunter. My wife outshoots me. Ain't that funny? She does. She does it consistently too. It sucks. We got like 60 or 70 shoulder mounts on our walls at the house, literally. And all of the big ones belong to Laura. It's disgusting. And true to form, man, we were in Wright, Wyoming this past October, and Laura, she killed one of the biggest antelope we've ever took off that ranch up there. I got this buddy of mine, he's my taxidermist. Pretty much paid for his house with my taxidermy bill. Man, he hand-painted a set of blue eyes. He called them tide blue. And he mounted them in this goat, and it's hanging on my baby's wall where he'd promised all his buddies it was going to hang. You guys got Facebook? Look me up on Facebook. Look under Kirk and Laura Smalley's page. Look under our mobile uploads. You can see a picture of this blue-eyed antelope on Ty's bedroom wall. Man, he's gorgeous. You need to see him. He's phenomenal. You know, guys, Laura and I, we've learned a lot these past few months. Man, we've learned a lot of things that you guys really need to know. We've learned that suicide is the second leading cause of death in our young people in America, ages 10 to 24 years old. Man, it's second only to car wrecks. Most people think suicide's caused by depression. And that if you're depressed, somebody can just look in your eyes, look at your face, and see that you're hurting. That you're fixing to do something bad to yourself. I want you guys to know something. And that's not always true. And that boy right there, sure, he wasn't depressed 1 minute in his entire life. He was smiling and joking and laughing with his mama and the women she works with. The morning he took his own life. Kids that are being bullied, man, they learn to hide it real well. They get to where they even quit telling people about it. Because it just seems like it makes the bullying get worse. I got a question for you. How many of you in here right now ever been picked on, bullied? Put them up. Put them up high. Don't be shy. Put them up there. Look around you. I love you. You are somebody. I got another question for you. This is a little harder. This one's kind of tough. How many of you in here right now are bullies? I love you. You are somebody. You guys notice anything right there? You see how little work we got to do? We got all these victims. You're telling me 3 people doing the bullying? Come on, them some busy dudes. Oh, and nowadays, man, there are so many different ways that you can bully somebody too, ain't there? You can bully somebody with a look. You can bully somebody with one word. You can bully somebody with an action. Thanks to our wonderful world of technology, you can bully somebody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with an email, an instant message, a text message. Post on Facebook. Do you know you can bully somebody with exclusion? Not letting them be a part of your group. You know, all your lives, you guys have had numbers thrown at you. Percentages, statistics. Here's something else I've learned lately. In America, right now, 1 out of every 4 kids, 25%, 1 out of 4 will not only think about suicide, dude, they'll actually have a plan on how they would take their own life before they graduate high school. 1 out of 4? Thai school had 1,300 kids in it. Man, that's 350 babies in one school that would actually have a plan on how they would take their own life before they graduate high school. Look around you. 1 out of 4 kids in here right now would have a plan? No way do I let that number stand. Man, we got to change that. We got to make that stop. Guys, these aren't numbers we're talking about here. Man, they're not percentages. They're not statistics. They're people. They're smiling little freckled faces. They're people we know. They're people we love. You know, adults can tell you guys, and teachers can tell you, you guys have kind of learned to let it go one ear, right out the other. But you can tell each other. Man, you listen to you. Same way my Stand for the Silent kids are willing to do. You can make this stop. Fact of the matter is, man, you're the only one that can make this stop. Be real. Dude, your school can't stop bullying. They can't do it. They can help you. They can support you. But they can't stop it. Only you can. And I think maybe it's time that the young people in our world take a stand and show us adults the changes that we have to make, how we can do this, how we can get along. Brother, we need you guys. We need you to show us how to make this happen. I know you guys are sitting there thinking, wow, this is some really sad, depressing stuff. Here's another little sad thing I've learned lately. In our world right now, sweetie, in our world, every 7 seconds, a child is being beaten, neglected, humiliated, degraded, abused, picked on, bullied. Man, in our world, every 7 seconds. Think about that a minute. And the time it takes me to tell you that sentence, in our world, every 7 seconds, a child is being bullied. 2 of somebody's babies just got picked on. I'd like for you guys to maybe think about that number the next time you decide you want to participate in the act of being a bully. In fact, I'd like for you to think about that number the next time you just sit around and you watch it happen to somebody else and you don't stand up for that kid and make it stop. Guys, we got to get rid of that number. We got to make that number go completely away. You know, Laura and I, we love you guys. You guys are what we have left to fight for. And we need your help. See, we plan on changing our world for you. And we can't do it alone. I made a promise to my boy. 1 month and 7 days after Ty took his own life. It was on Father's Day. And I made that boy right there a promise on that day. I promised Ty that I will stop bullying in our world. And I don't break promises to my kid. I can't keep that promise. I can't keep my last promise to my son. I can't do that alone. I need your help. I need you to get involved. I need you to help me keep a promise. Man, I ain't asking you to do this for me. I ain't asking you to do it for my boy. My boy ain't being picked on anymore. Guys, do it for you. Do it for your kids, your grandkids. I'm telling you, you don't know. You never know. You'd come up to me 662 days ago, told me my kid was going to kill himself because of being bullied. Mister, we'd have been rolling around on the ground fighting. You don't know. And if somebody would have stood up against this 662 days ago, my baby might still be here. Isn't it time? Isn't it? Talk to me. Isn't it time that we make this kind of thing stop? And you know what? We have that kind of power. You and I, we have that kind of power. The power to change our world. If we stand together, we just spread the message to the whole wide world that this kind of thing is not allowed to happen anymore. We have that kind of power. But I can't do it alone. I need you to get involved. That's pretty much become my message, my mission. What you guys do with it now is totally and completely up to you. My little mom always told me when I was a kid growing up, she said, boy, you got 3 kinds of people in your world right now. You got those who wish for something to happen, you got those who make things happen, and you got those who sit around and wonder what just happened. Which one are you going to be? Man, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. We normally would play a video. We're running short on time here. So we're going to cut the video. If you guys want to see it, we'll show you how to find it on our website. It's standforthesilent.com. We're going to read our pledge out loud now. Michael's going to come up and read that out loud, and we'd like for you guys to take it with us, if you would, and say it out loud and repeat it after him. We're going to leave a bunch of pledge cards here at your school. They'll pass them out in homerooms or English class. Pardon me? Okay. They look like that right there. They got our hand sign on the front. Say, stand for the silent, I am somebody. On the back are those words right there. High school kids wrote those, guys. They made the video. They made the shirts we're wearing. They did the wristbands. Get you one of those. Sign your name on it. Put today's date on it. And you keep it in your purse or your wallet or on the dashboard of your pickup truck. Somewhere you're going to see it every day to remind you of your promise to yourself and everybody else in here. Michael's going to read that pledge for you. You guys repeat it with us, please. Would you do that? Awesome. Here you go, sweetie.
From this day forward,
From this day forward,
I promise to respect those around me,
to respect those around me,
as well as respect myself.
as well as respect myself.
I am somebody,
I am somebody,
and I can make a difference.
and I can make a difference.
I can make another feel loved.
I can make another feel loved.
I can be the helping hand
I can be the helping hand
that leads another back
that leads another back
to a path of hope and aspiration.
to a path of hope and aspiration.
I will not stand silent
I will not stand silent
as others try to spread
as others try to spread
hatred through my community.
hatred through my community.
Instead, I pledge to lift up those victims
Instead, I pledge to lift up those victims
and show them that their lives matter.
and show them that their lives matter.
I will be the change
I will be the change
because I am somebody.
because I am somebody. You guys believe that? Do you really? Because I got news for you. I believe in you. I believe in every single one of you. And now I need you to believe in you. Believe in each other. Believe in yourself. Bare minimum, let's have each other's back. And what's that cost us? Nothing? A smile in the hallway? A friendly word to somebody? Letting somebody sit at our lunch table that doesn't ever have anybody to sit with. What does that cost us? Nothing. And yet you can be somebody's hero by doing that? Dude, you can change somebody's world? Nadia's got a few questions to ask you real quick. Have we?
Students, will you take a stand? Will you help make the change? Will you be part of the solution? Will you take the pledge to stop bullying? Will you take this back to your school, your family, and your community? You are somebody. Say it with me. I am somebody. Can we count on you?
Guys, real quick, I know this man's probably fixing to kick me in the shins, but you got my back, right? Hey, you guys know who... You guys know who Lady Gaga is? Hey, that's cool, but listen.
I appreciate that Grissom. Applause for Mr. Smalley. He's brought us an excellent message. It is meant for all of you because we care about you. You mean so much to us and to each other. So take care. If things go wrong some days, we have counselors. Your teachers are with you, and we're here to help you.